Like if you're talented in school, and especially if a girl, if she feels like she can't do it, she'll want to be around you more. Did you ever experience anything like that where you impressed a girl by not even trying, by being the artist that you were?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how I got my wife. Who's not my ex-wife, but yeah, I met her on a movie called Flesh Eater and hired her as an assistant because I saw her, and her sister was one of the actors, and she goes, I was having a hard time keeping up with everything because it was just me, and I knew I had a big scene coming up with a bunch of stuff, and I needed to hire somebody. She goes, well, I have this sister that is an artist, and she reads that Fangoria magazine, and she'd probably be really good to work with you. And so I said, hey, I want to meet her. And I just remember she was gorgeous. I mean, she looked like she walked right out of Playboy magazine. I just remember her getting out of the car in slow motion, and her hair was blowing, and then this beautiful blonde girl was coming toward me, and I'm there, holy crap. And I remember my friend Andy, who was the production manager, standing next to me, and I said, that's the girl I'm going to marry. And he goes, you're dreaming. And Bill Heinzman reaches over and he goes, don't listen to him. You want her, go get her. And I did. And I hired her as my assistant, and it just, things just clicked.
So, do you think nowadays that like prettier girls have like a much better chance than someone else?
No, I think it's talent. Like when I would hire people, it was for talent. It wasn't because they were hot looking, because usually if they are, they might not be that talented, and then you hire them and then you end up doing all the work and they can't really do it, so it's business is business. You gotta go for who's the best for the job, not how they look.
Because right now it's just like my peers, it's like they're scared. They're not sure if just because they're not flashing it all out that they're not going to get a job in someone else just because they're like more ditzy and like pretty, and they're going to get hired.
Well, there are certain people that will just go for that. I had friends in LA that just would, that chick's hot, I'm going to hire her, and she, can't even make coffee for them, it's just like, but, she looks good. And there's just too much money at stake, for that to really be common, So I know at Optic, we had a couple girls there, and they weren't really attractive, but man, were they talented.
Yeah.
And that's why they got to work. And a lot of times, if you have really hot girls in there, everybody's fighting over her, and that causes a disruption in the shop and animosity between guys, and they're all trying to hit on her, and it just causes a lot of problems too. I could see that happening, and I did see that happening a couple times. But no, I think anymore it's pretty much whether they can do the job or not.
Whatever your portfolio is looking like.
Right, and also personality.
Yeah.
Like I hear a lot of my friends in LA complaining about the cell phones, and that they're taking selfies and all this stuff, and once they get established, then they don't show up for work. They just want to show everybody that they're doing something, and they don't really care, and they end up getting fired. So, or the personalities that cause lots of drama. So, you don't need that on a production. There's too much money at stake, and you don't need all the drama and the fighting and the drama.